Welcome back to the Soulful of It podcast, where the cosmos meet the cards and the mundane becomes magical. I'm your guide, 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀, and in this episode, we'll dive back into the astrological transits and tarot for the second half of October 2025. If you're thirsty for a soulful conversation and a little bit of alien talk, then you came to the right podcast. So let's fill up your cup until you're soul full of it. Hello, soul friends and family and extraterrestrials. I'll be tossing some of that in here because it is my current highest interest and topic, top of mind. We're going to talk about the interstellar object 3I Atlas as well towards the end of this episode. But before that, let's kind of just do a quick check-in. We're halfway through October and it is officially spooky season. So those who celebrate Halloween are deep in the talks of candy and costumes. Those who honor Dia de los Muertos are gathering memories and traditions to celebrate their ancestors. And those who walk the witch's path toward Samhain are preparing their altars and rituals for the thinning of the veil. It's that time of year where the leaves are falling, and so it seems is democracy in America. It's a season of change that is being a little bit overshadowed by greed, the kind that shuts the government down for political gains, takes tax dollars from the middle class to fund genocide and wars that no one voted for, and sends masked ICE agents to disappear citizens off the streets in the name of counterfeit justice, including in cities like my own, here in the beautiful Rose City, Portland, Oregon, where we're only seeing people in frog costumes and naked bicycle riders. No war-torn anything up in here, at least nothing that I've seen. So what are we to do with this crisis and collective consciousness that so many meet with denial, disbelief, or apathy? And also, who could blame them? It's quite overwhelming, isn't it? Well, I'm going to have to say that we'll carry on, of course. And you might think I'd say that because I was born into the self-fulfilling prophecy of caring and carrying, by name and by nature of being called Carrie. For me, the best way to carry on has always been through seeking, cultivating, and sharing joy as freely and as often as possible. Because joy itself is an act of rebellion. It is radical resistance to the status quo to succumb to sadness in the face of fear and fascism. Joy is a lifeline in times of grief, an oxymoron maybe, but a necessary one. It's not about shelving our sadness or silencing our anger. Those emotions have purpose, and they need their space too. It is, however, about letting joy coexist alongside them, to expand our capacity to love, to fight, and to hope. Joy is a spark in the darkest of days, the flame flickering in a cave, the lightning strike that jolts us awake when the world grows dim. Joy laughs in the face of all who aim to snuff it out because it can't be destroyed, only forgotten. Joy belongs to all of us. It is in the breath that fills our lungs, the blood that dances through our veins, and the song that lives so deeply within our hearts it can't help but depart our lips. The future is not fixed. The puppet masters of this realm would love for us to believe that so that we might simply accept what we've been handed. But when joy enters the energetic field, it does not bend a knee to fear, deceit, or control. It reminds us of who we are, spirits having a human experience, here to learn, to grow, and to change the trajectory of humanity through the power of heart, the home of the soul. There shall be no kings in America, not without a fight. And that fight, I believe, will be led by those who protect joy as the sacred flame that it is. And perhaps the price of joy has always been loss. But as was said in WandaVision, beautifully, what is grief, if not love persevering? Shifting now to intertwine the philosophical with the astrological, the recent Aries full moon brought tensions to the surface, urging release through action or expression. That fire still lingers as we transition from Libra season into Scorpio season, where passion becomes the pathway forward. We'll explore that shift and much more when we get into the transits, but first, let's consult the cards and see what our Soulful of Wisdom tarot spread has to say for the rest of October, beginning with the wisdom or the rose at the center of our spread, the Seven of Cups. In the traditional Smith-Rider-Waite tarot deck, we see a person standing before 7 golden cups floating in the clouds, each containing a different vision: jewels, a laurel of victory, a serpent, a castle, a dragon, a head, and a figure cloaked in white like a DIY ghost costume. Each cup tempts the imagination, promising fulfillment while concealing illusion. The Seven of Cups brings a dreamy, otherworldly energy to the center of our reading. It's a card of imagination, choices, and perhaps most importantly, illusion. It's a reminder of the human tendency to mistake potential for the real deal when we're not grounded in reality. This card presents a soulful checkpoint asking what options that lie before you are made of smoke and mirrors, and what options are truly viable pathways towards your desired outcomes. This is a moment to examine the fantasies that both inspire and distract us. It's okay to dream. It's actually great to dream, right? But discernment is key. As we step into Scorpio season, the Seven of Cups asks us to look beyond glamours, to choose with both heart and intuition, not ego or escapism. In this position, it says, the wisdom of this moment lies in clarity. When overwhelmed by possibilities, simplify. Choose the cup that can nourish your soul, not the one that's going to feed your fantasies. Then for the attention or thorns, we have the Hanged Man. A man hangs upside down by 1 foot from a living tree in a T-shaped cross. Despite his vulnerable position, the expression on his face is one of serenity, not struggle. A radiant halo glows around his head, nodding to insights gained through surrender. The Hanged Man crosses the Seven of Cups like a divine pause button. It arrives to remind us that surrender is not the same as giving up, and that sometimes the greatest forward motion begins with stillness and with a willingness to see the world and ourselves from a new perspective. Where the Seven of Cups tempts us to scatter our energy, freezing in fear of making the wrong decision, the Hanged Man insists we suspend our attachment to controlling every outcome. It's a cosmic invitation to stop chasing and start perceiving, to ask what truth can only be seen when I am willing to sacrifice comfort and welcome fresh insights, even those that challenge what I think I know, what I think I believe, and what I think I think. What intuitive ping may find me when I stop hitting rewind and replay and start pressing pause to observe and listen to all that surrounds me, as well as the deep wisdom that lies within me. In the Thorns position, this card challenges us to sit with uncertainty, to resist impulsive choices, and to trust the divine timing at play, even when we can't yet see the full picture, or it seems as though the world has been flipped upside down. Then for the basis or root, we have the Chariot. In the Smith-Rider-Waite deck, a charioteer in armor holds the reins of 2 sphinxes, one black, one white, symbolizing balance and duality. He moves forward beneath a starry canopy, guided not by reins, but by pure willpower. A familiar friend returns, the Chariot, previously appearing as the Attention or Thorns in the August Part 1 episode, as well as the Wisdom or Rose in the March Part 1 episode this year. And it now returns to us to serve as an anchor for the foundation of this spread. This card's persistence this year speaks to our ongoing relationship with momentum and embracing uncertainty. At the root of this reading, the Chariot affirms that the drive to move forward is intact, But that control, once again, is not always an option and must at times be balanced with surrender, a very hanged man sentiment. It suggests a deep inner knowing that while we may not fully understand how we will reach our intended destinations, we are capable of summoning the willpower to carry on the flexibility, to roll with the punches as they come. Think of it as a spiritual GPS system. Detours may arise, but we will reach our journey's end one way or another, so long as we don't lose faith in ourselves along the way. I had a mentor once who said the only difference between an adventure and a catastrophe is your attitude. And I really think she was onto something with that. Lastly, we have the Queen of Wands as our guidance or sun. The Queen of Wands sits confidently upon her golden throne with a sunflower in one hand and a wand in the other. A black cat, frequently referred to as her familiar and protector, rests at her feet. Her gaze is direct yet warm, charismatic and courageous. The Queen of Wands radiates creative confidence and sovereign joy. When she last appeared in June's Part 2 episode, her fire anchored us. Now she ascends to the position of guidance, urging us to embody that same radiance we had ourselves rooted in just a few months ago. This queen reminds us that joy, the kind that I spoke of earlier, is not passive. It's an active, courageous expression of self. She says, own your light, share it, don't dim it for comfort or conformity. Her presence here crowns the reading with empowerment. As Scorpio season approaches, she encourages us to transmute pain into passion, fear into fuel, and grief into the gold of self-expression. Together, these cards weave a story for the rest of October. The Seven of Cups opens our hearts to recognizing infinite possibilities. The Hanged Man asks us to pause and see clearly before choosing. The Chariot reminds us that we're not lost, just divinely rerouted. And the Queen of Wands lights the way forward with joy as our torch. With these tarot teachers to help guide us, let's step further into October's orbit and see how the transits align with this wisdom. Starting with, on Sunday, October 19th, Mercury and Mars meet in Scorpio. And when these two come together, words have weight. This is impassioned speech, sharp thinking, and mental fire. With Mars empowered in its rulership, the heated potential of this conjunction is heightened. Words can spill out faster than we intend, sometimes sharp, sometimes scorching, and yes, sometimes even laced with a well-placed curse word or a few. There's a mental acuity when Mercury meets Mars. Our minds sharpen, our tongues quicken, and our words become movers and shakers, agitators and awakeners. I have this conjunction in my own natal chart in Sagittarius, and it's one of my more challenging placements. Translation, I have definitely choked on my own foot more times than I could count. But learning about my Mercury-Mars conjunction has helped me to understand and improve on tempering my fiery instincts, to speak quickly, passionately, and sometimes so directly that others misinterpret it as aggression. It's like watching an action movie inside of a documentary. Mercury narrates what Mars acts out. The saying, actions speak louder than words, evolves under this transit, illustrating that actions and words together can be a catalyst, capable of shaping reality when aligned. If words are spells, actions are wands, turning an idea into an experience, an object, or another manifestation in 3D form. The antidote to this push and pull? Alignment between mind and movement. Conjunctions are like new moons. They carry the potential for renewal. While Mercury and Mars can bring conflict, they can also activate fierce scholarship, strategic thinking, and in Scorpio, a relentless detective energy that seeks the truth no matter how dark it may be. And this exact conjunction happens just before our next major astrological event, the new moon on Tuesday the 21st at 28 degrees Libra, taking place at 5:24 a.m. Pacific time. Like the recent Aries full moon, this lunation highlights relationships, but where Aries burns, Libra breathes. This one is more intellectual than emotional, but equally revealing. What stands out to me first is its opposition to Chiron, the wounded healer currently in Aries. This opposition offers us a mirror, a chance to see how our personal wounds may be bleeding into our interactions. Think of those moments when someone says something that's totally neutral, but you react big. Your face flushes, your heart races, and later you wonder, why did that hit me so hard? That's Chiron at work, when present experiences brush against old scars. Awareness brings the breakthrough. This new moon invites those aha moments, the ones that click into place and remind you that awareness dissolves autopilot reactivity. Using myself as an example, I used to get so triggered when someone would tell me to, quote, calm down. As a fire sign, that phrase felt like a cage. It activated my nervous system as if my freedom were being threatened, which, logically, it wasn't. But triggers aren't logical. They're emotional fossils. Over time, through awareness and practice, that reaction softened. Now you can tell me to calm down and I'll probably just raise an eyebrow, not erupt like Mount Kerry. That's the gift of this new moon, to catch the reaction before the eruption, and to choose a response aligned with your healed self. Try asking, what would the healed version of me say? Or, my personal favorite, how long am I going to react to this? This lunation also forms a square to both Jupiter and Pluto. Tension around growth, that's Jupiter, and transformation, that's Pluto, within the realm of relationships, that's Libra. There's expansion here, but only through discomfort, the kind that grows compassion and that self-awareness that I've been talking about. Jupiter also forms an exact trine to Chiron during this new moon, giving healing extra gravity. Acknowledging our wounds takes courage, especially when it's witnessed by others. But sunlight is the best disinfectant. Release the dark wound, let love live, or let love in. That Release the Dark Wound title, though, is actually a title of a oracle card, one of my favorites from the Sacred Rebels Oracle. Highly recommend. Such a good deck. But moving forward, we also have a grand air trine between Venus in Libra, who is, of course, the ruler of this new moon, Pluto in Aquarius, and Uranus in Gemini. This uplifts creative energy. It's ripe for communication, collaboration, and reimagining our relationship patterns. With Uranus and Gemini during this lunation, right before its retrograde back into Taurus, innovation is key. Do something slightly different to engage this energy. Make a digital vision board if you usually craft one by hand, or write your intentions in a new medium. Maybe you want to write a song about it. Air energy rewards curiosity, and this is very much an experiment with me type of energy. We also have a grand water trine that's connecting Jupiter in Cancer, the Mercury-Mars conjunction, which is still exact on this day, by the way, in Scorpio, and Saturn in Pisces. This brings an emotional integration, healing through responsibility. It's a gentle reminder that how we speak and act now directly influences how we heal and how we grow. And since Mercury enters its pre-retrograde shadow on this very same day, this is the time to start paying attention to our conversations, thoughts, and the themes that are surfacing right now. They're likely to revisit us during Mercury's retrograde cycle, which will kick off in November. Overall, this Libra new moon is an invitation to bring peace into practice, to align your words with your actions, to offer apology with accountability. Libra is cardinal air. It wants us to move forward and take the initiative, but with grace. Use this lunation to deepen your relationships by softening defensiveness, extending forgiveness, and designing your reality around harmony and truth. Which brings us to the next transit, when passion deepens and intuition sharpens. On Wednesday, October 22nd, which also happens to be my mom's birthday, so shout out to you, Mom, if you're listening, the sun enters Scorpio and Neptune re-enters Pisces. Let's start with Scorpio season. Scorpio, our fixed water sign, is as fierce as it is psychic. If Pisces is the dreamer and Cancer the sailboat, Scorpio is the lucid, dreaming submarine, unafraid to dive deep beneath the surface, even internally. Co-ruled by Mars and Pluto, Scorpio season is a time of revelation and excavation, where secrets surface and shadows show themselves. The archetypes of Scorpio include the detective, the alchemist, and the shaman, all reminding us that what's hidden can heal once revealed. This is a potent time for shadow work, dream journaling, and truth-seeking, personally and collectively. Maybe this is the season that we finally get those Epstein files. Meanwhile, Neptune's return to Pisces marks the end of an era. This is its final passage through Pisces in our lifetimes, wrapping up a 14-year cycle that began in 2011 and 2012. Think back to what was awakening for you around that time. What dreams, illusions, or spiritual explorations were beginning. Neptune governs spirituality, dreams, and collective belief systems. When it first entered Pisces, there was this swell of apocalyptic prophecy. Judgment Day, the Mayan calendar, these 2012 world-ending predictions. Does that ring a bell? I certainly remember them, and it feels like some of that's coming back lately with the recent talk of the rapture and all this spiritual, religious sensationalism and a continued cultural fascination with the unseen, myself included. I mean, here I am wanting to talk about aliens all the time. And I can't help but wonder, on that topic, if as Neptune takes its final bow here, we're going to see a wave of some really interesting headlines. Maybe even some about UFOs or extraterrestrials. Neptune in Pisces dissolves boundaries, so cosmic revelations wouldn't be a surprise to me, especially for the finale of a transit that we will never again see in our lifetimes, unless, of course, we become cyborgs, in which case, go off, King. Or go off, robot. On a personal level, you can look to the house in your chart that holds Pisces. That is the realm where this 14-year dream has been unfolding. Neptune's final dance here is about harvesting wisdom, closing karmic loops, and distinguishing true gold from fool's gold. A very Seven in Cups vibe. And as the fog lifts, truth becomes visible, at least if you're willing to see it. Then we have a couple of quick planetary connections that I wanted to highlight. First, on Saturday, October 25th, we have Mercury trine Saturn, a productive, grounding aspect perfect for writing things into becoming. This is a supportive energy for any cosmic planner. It's a great day and time, this weekend, to draft your goals, outline your projects, write down your vision, whether it's a workout routine, a business plan, or a new recipe rotation. The universe is listening and ready to help you make it real. Then, on Monday, October 27th, Mars forms a trine to Jupiter, a burst of expansive, confident energy that rewards bold action. Jupiter blesses what Mars begins. So send the text, apply for the job, take the leap. This is a shoot your shot moment, one where effort meets opportunity. With Scorpio season in full swing, this weekend could feel like a portal for some timeline shifts. So believe in yourself and watch how the universe rearranges itself around that belief. Then we have our last transit on Wednesday, October 29th. Mercury enters Sagittarius. And interestingly, this is also the very day that 3I Atlas, the mysterious interstellar object being classified as a comet, will make its closest pass to the sun. It will later make its closest approach to Earth on December 19th. Now, I want to talk a little bit about 3I Atlas because I feel like so few are. So here's what we know, and by we, I mean I've done a lot of research on this because this is just one of those things that interests me endlessly. 3I Atlas was first discovered in the constellation of Sagittarius. So I really love that its solar encounter aligns with Mercury's move into that same sign, especially because Mercury always stays the closest to the sun. For those who missed my earlier mentions of it, 3I Atlas is the third interstellar object ever observed from Earth, following the first one, which was in 2017, and the second one in 2019. Their names are like hard to pronounce. The 2017 one is like 𝗧𝗶𝗺𝗀𝗀. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Ooh, mama. Like, let's just call it that. Ooh, mama. Okay, that's rebrand. We're going to call it that from now on. And then Borisov is the name of the other one, which is like so boring, right? Like Borisov. Okay, back to the plot here. 3I Atlas. This is not about your ooh, mama or your Busov or whatever the fuck the pronunciation of these names are. Thank God Atlas is really easy to say. I mean, come on. Anyways. Of the three, this one, 3I Atlas, is the fastest traveler. It's rich in carbon dioxide and it carries a hyperbolic orbit, which confirms its origin lies beyond our solar system. Translation, we don't know where the fuck this thing came from, but like super far away. That is the answer, and that's as much as we know about its origin. Scientists estimate that 3I Atlas could be around 7 billion years old, which would make it older than Earth, the sun, and everything that we know as home, including our own solar system. That alone is enough to make you pause and wonder what stories it carries across the stars. And from an astrological and spiritual perspective, many view 3I Atlas as a cosmic messenger, a harbinger of new frequencies and awareness. While it won't come close enough to physically affect us, I do believe its passage still resonates on an energetic level. Not as a single lightning bolt moment of revelation, but more like a seeding, a subtle infusion of consciousness from a realm far beyond our imaginations. Perhaps this ancient traveler reminds us that awakening isn't always loud or sudden. Sometimes it arrives quietly, from that deep silence between worlds. And as Mercury, the planet of information and communication, steps into Sagittarius, the sign of truth-seeking and cosmic perspective, the timing feels symbolic. Mercury rules both Virgo and Gemini, so when it moves through an opposite sign of either, Sagittarius in this instance, it's considered to be in detriment, which essentially means that the communication gets bigger, bolder, and occasionally a little tactless. People with Mercury in Sagittarius, like yours truly, tend to speak in metaphors, tell long-winded stories, and favor meaning over precision, which, if you've been listening to this podcast, you could probably agree with about me. We are pun-loving philosophers who bend language into wordplay. I mean, so full of it. That is so Mercury and Sagittarius with a wink from my Gemini rising. This transit amplifies curiosity, humor, and storytelling. It's a great time to write, teach, or dive into spiritual or philosophical study. Just be mindful of going down too many conspiracy rabbit holes, unless, of course, you enjoy a good cosmic mystery, in which case I highly recommend checking out this podcast I found recently. It's called American Alchemy. which features lots of fascinating alien-centered interviews, just to kind of tie that back in here. With Mercury's upcoming retrograde moving through both Sagittarius and Scorpio, what's said right now is likely to echo back at us later. Curiosity, self-reflection, and observation around what themes or conversations are taking center stage will help you catch the clues to what the retrograde may be bringing back around. As we wrap up this episode, let's return to the cards. Thinking back to the Seven of Cups, we're asked to look beyond illusions to see what's real, what's projection, and what is just simply a possibility. The Hanged Man reminds us that sometimes the only way forward is through surrender and stillness. From that sacred pause, the Chariot rises, guiding us to move with purpose once clarity returns. And finally, the Queen of Wands calls us to embody confidence and joy, to create boldly, even amidst uncertainty. Together, these cards offer a map for the rest of October. Discern what truly matters, trust your inner timing, and let inspired action arise from alignment, not urgency. October closes with a crescendo of courage, curiosity, and conscious communication. Speak with awareness, act with intention, and let joy, that rebellious flame, light your path through the shadows. If you'd like to explore how the cosmos are unfolding in your own chart, this is the last call on the discounted astrology readings I'm offering until the end of the month. You can book a 90-minute virtual live natal and transit reading with me for $99 if you use the code HERMIT, or I'm also offering a 30-minute pre-recorded mini reading for $44, which you'd want to use the code LANTERN. You'll find the link to schedule that in the show notes, and of course always in my Instagram bio as well. And you can always reach out to me at soulfulofitpodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions. Coming up in the next episode, we'll be talking about the new moon in Taurus, Uranus's final retrograde pass through Taurus, and the last Mercury retrograde of 2025. Thank you as always for spending your time and energy here with me, exploring the cards and the cosmos. Stay grounded, stay curious, and stay soulful of it. And I'll catch up with you in November.